George Lucas has moved on from Star Wars. Okay. I gotta
That's not
get
the whole
this
headline.
straight.
Is George Lucas has moved on from Star Wars, and why can't you?
Yeah, well, yes. Here we go. I'm gonna bring up the story for it's from the Wall Street Journal. But ultimately, he's got his museum about to open, and he's if you could read the notes for this story.
See, he's been pretty consistent. Like, one of the first things he ever said was, you treat it like a breakup. You don't drive by their house, no phone calls, just a clean break. So I think he's moved on for quite some time. George Lucas has moved on from Star Wars. George Lucas's early Star Wars ideas were huge, but hard to understand on paper. Studio executives didn't see it until illustrator Ralph McQuarrie painted key scenes. Those visuals convinced 20th Century Fox to fund the movie. People can't understand what I'm talking about unless they've never seen it before. This formed Lucas's lifelong process. Dream big, hire great artists, make the impossible feel real. Lucas surrounded himself with concept artists to bring this imagination to life. They helped shape the Star Wars look that fans love today. Droids, starships, planets, everything. For the prequels, Lucas changed the visual style. Instead of the dirty, used look of the originals, he ordered sleek, shiny, elegant design to show a more civilized galaxy before the Empire. Artist Doug Chiang remembers thinking, are we going to break it? Lucas pushed forward, and that's how we got iconic ships like the yellow N-1 starfighter from The Phantom Menace to create Star Wars the way he imagined. Lucas built new technology and entire companies, ILM, Skywalker Sound, and THX. Martin Scorsese says Lucasfilm's influence is incalculable. Lucas is now focused on his Museum of Narrative Art, which I've been told he spent upwards of $1 billion fundraising for. Opening in Los Angeles, it honors illustrators, comic artists, and visual storytellers, the orphaned arts, as he calls them. He agreed to include one gallery of Star Wars designs, but only one. And he says he did it grudgingly. I didn't want people to come to the museum and say, where's the Star Wars? Lucas has stepped back emotionally from the franchise since Disney bought Lucasfilm in 2012. When asked if he still tries to guide it, he said, 69. Disney took it over and they gave it their vision. That's what happens. Of course, I've moved past it. In simple terms, he doesn't fight Disney's direction. He accepts that it's their version now. He has his own life and projects. He's no longer attached to controlling it. But you could still feel a hint that it wasn't always easy to let go. His focus is now creating new things, not battling over the old ones. George Lucas built Star Wars through imagination, art, and innovation. He has respect for the past, peace with Disney's future, and passion for storytelling as he moves on. Star Wars was his beginning, not his ending.
Well, this new museum is coming out, and I'll say that what I'm told is that there's only one section that even has some Star Wars stuff, and he begrudgingly put it in there. Mm-hmm. What do we think about this? And I mean, look, I have the utmost respect for George. If anything, if there's justice with Lucasfilm Disney, he should get a tribute at the Star Wars celebration, where it will be the 50th anniversary of Star Wars in 2027. What do you guys think?
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think that they should do that for him. But from what I've seen, they only bring out George Lucas when he's needed
for stock battles.
For the stock, yeah. Look, it's just sad to me that I mean, we've talked endlessly about it. Look, he deserves more than a museum, in my opinion. He really, and even if he didn't make a movie, the technologies he innovated.
Yes.
From ILM to Edit Droid to THX and on. Who is the modern George Lucas? There isn't one.
Closest you could get would be Cameron doing what he's doing with the Avatar stuff, but even that is on the back of everything that George did. Look, I know people want to call George a sellout and get mad at him. Here, look, yes, he said, right? He sold to the Disney slavers, the white slavers, blah, 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 blah. And he's disavowed his movies are the 1 through 6. you got to remember what Marvel was like at the time, all the success they had. And I too thought, oh, good, maybe they'll just adapt the best of the expanded universe. And George was getting older. He did not want to do another decade of Star Wars. He did have a horrible experience with the prequels where it didn't resonate with some of the original. At best interpretation, he thought he was doing the best. What do I fucking die and just keep the rights and we never get any more new Star Wars, or I give it to Disney? And my friend Bob, who if didn't outright say he was going to continue with his script treatments, he definitely, everyone said, we're going to be respectful. And then they were anything but. Yeah. So he kind of got screwed over too, just like us.
Still, he got a lot of money.
Yes, he got his $4 billion.
A big portion of Disney. I call that selling out.
But the thing is, Hollywood used to foster talent, whether it be actors and actresses, whether it even be some young up and coming filmmaker who'd make a small indie like Chris Nolan did with a movie called Following, a black and white 16 millimeter film. Then he did Memento, movie that has some more known actors, in it. Guy Pearce, I can't pronounce the last name. Joey Pants, as he's known.
Pantoliano.
Yeah. And they would sort of, it's like high school, college, the major leagues.
They gave him the studio remake of Insomnia.
Correct.
That was his first studio movie.
That was his third movie, right?
Where he proved that he could work with big actors. I mean, the movie wasn't a huge success, but it proved he could make a movie at the studio level that was really good.
Yes, and he worked up. Who are they choosing now to lift up and like basically have them move up the ranks? Not like just get a director and have them do a $50 million movie. You gotta work your way up the scale. And there will never be another George Lucas, because no one will give some small indie filmmaker the financial deal that Fox gave him. He made some sacrifices. He gave up money, but it ended up being a great decision.
Ryan Coogler got a great deal for Sinners, but he'd already proved himself.
Yeah,
correct. So I fear for, we talked about the Matt Walsh post and where things are going in the industry, and we're seeing the collapse of culture that connects us. And that's the one thing. That's why we still talk Star Wars. It was culture that connected all of us. Anyone could like Star Wars. Kids, young, old, male, female, gay, straight, doesn't matter. Everyone was connected by it, and it's become divisive now. So I don't know. I'm just.
It just seems like that Hollywood is more into hiring directors they can control, as opposed to directors that have a vision or have something that they want to say, or a piece that they're passionate about. I think they're just waiting for Cameron and Nolan to die off, all these directors, and then they can get complete control over whatever they produce.
Well, even look at Marvel. When Marvel started, Kenneth Branagh directed Thor. And Kenneth Branagh, who his first movie that he directed was Henry V. And he was a guy that cut his teeth in the Shakespearean British theater. And, it was interesting because they had him make the Cinderella, starring Lily James. I mean, he brought an elegance to that live action remake that I don't think any other director would have. And I actually, to be honest, I was dragged to see that movie kicking and screaming, and I really loved it. As far as a Disney remake goes, I think that Cinderella, you had Helena Bonham Carter. There's some interesting stuff there. And now, you had the Joss Whedons of the world. You had who directed Captain America, the First Avenger,
Joe Johnston.
Yeah.
Why was he never? I mean, obviously something must have gone wrong that he, Alan Taylor his head wasn't in the game when he was making Thor: The Dark World. But if you look at people that Kevin Feige plucked James Gunn out, the Russo brothers had never done what they had done, and they were since Phase 4. Where have these new directors? Where did they go?
Yeah,
you kind of answered your own question, Rob. When Marvel in these first phases, they got directors they put their trust in.
Yeah.
Then they got directors they could control, as Alan pointed out.
Even Sam Raimi, by the way.
Controlled. How much did they edit, re-edit, cut, change Captain America Brave New World or Thunderbolts or even
Marvel.
Fantastic
In Marvel's,
Four.
Nia Costa wasn't even around when they did the final edits. She was off.
Right.
Yeah.
She moved on and effed off, and good on
She
her.
spoke about it later.
It's just, I really feel it's corporations. It's corporations kill creativity. And Lucas, in the end, he left Hollywood. He didn't even want to be here in Marin County, which, if you've been there, is a quaint, kind of small town. And I've been to Skywalker Ranch. It doesn't even seem like they make movies here. It's a bunch of not bungalows
until you go into like Skywalker Sound. Yeah.
No, it's nice.
You walk into a room where it's when we were doing the Lord of the Rings documentaries, I got to hang out up there and watch these guys work on the most state-of-the-art equipment, and it was insane.
But it's like the Ross House?
But it's not corporate. It's he got away from Hollywood. I think George saw some things early on. I'm sure that he's like, not into that.
Yeah. I don't think George was ever in Hollywood. I think he always had a disdain for it.
Yeah, true. But you know what? Good on him. And if anything, if the sequels have done anything, it's it's the 10-year anniversary. Was it yesterday that the trailer for Force Awakens came out, or the movie came out? I don't remember.
We're celebrating the anniversary.
The trailer.
Yeah, it was the trailer, I believe.
Yeah,
I don't. People are posting about it. Anyways, and now we can look forward to the Mandalorian and Grogu.